It's Sunday, February 16th, right now on 12 News at 10.
I'm Gabriella Becerra in the newsroom. Several lawmakers have now been caught speeding but didn't get tickets. Coming up, we'll explain legislative immunity.
We'll take you to the canyon where SRP is planning to build a brand new lake designed to be a reliable source of clean power for the valley.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Rainson. We're going to focus a lot on the soaring temperatures this week, not just across the valley, but everywhere in Arizona.
And we're introducing you to our champion of the week, a true leader, lifting up teammates on and off the court.
12 News at 10 starts now.
Thank you for being here. We begin tonight at 10 with an Arizona lawmaker who was caught driving 24 miles over the speed limit but didn't get a ticket. That's because the Arizona Constitution offers legislative immunity for lawmakers. They're shielded from being arrested for minor offenses while the legislature is in session. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra in studio with a new push, though, to change this. So tell us how it works, Gabby.
Well, Troy, there's a resolution on the table that would make it so members of the legislature can be ticketed for traffic violations. Several lawmakers have tried to change it before, but their efforts failed. 3 lawmakers avoided speeding tickets in the last year thanks to a clause in the Arizona Constitution.
It protects these individuals from minor offenses while they're in office.
According to the Arizona Department of Public Safety, a state trooper allegedly clocked State Senator Jake Hoffman driving 89 miles an hour in a 65-mile-an-hour speed limit. The trooper recognized Hoffman as a senator and did not cite him. That same week, a Prescott police officer ticketed State Senator Mark Fincham for allegedly driving 18 miles an hour over the speed limit.
I'll take it up with Legislative Council.
Fincham later invoked his right to legislative immunity. And in March of last year, Senator Justine Wotsak was pulled over by a Tucson police officer for allegedly driving 71 miles an hour in a 35-mile-an-hour limit.
I'm racing to get home because I have 4 miles left on my charger.
Police say she was not ticketed due to legislative immunity.
Criminal speeding, that's something you could be facing jail time for. You could be facing jail time, a fine, you could be facing probation. And that same action that could potentially land me in jail is not landing a member of our legislature in jail.
According to the Arizona Constitution, Article 4, Part 2, Section 6, members of the legislature shall be privileged from arrest in all cases except treason, felony, and breach of the peace, and they shall not be subject to any civil process during the session of the legislature, nor the 15 days next before the commencement of each session. Rachel Moss, a criminal defense attorney at Attorneys for Freedom, says there have been efforts to change this part of the Constitution.
I think the more this happens, the more the people are going to be fed up with it, and we're going to see continued push against legislative immunity.
There is a resolution currently making its way through the House of Representatives that would eliminate traffic violations from the immunity. In a statement, House Concurrent Resolution 2053 sponsor Kwong Win says, quote, "No one should be above the rules of the road. Lawmakers should follow the same laws they create and enforce. We are lawmakers, not lawbreakers." And if this resolution passes, it'll be placed on the ballot as a proposition in the next general election, giving voters the final say. In studio, Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thank you. Now to a police investigation that caused a big backup on State Route 51 this morning. You can see the traffic here. So this northbound lanes near Greenway just before 9 o'clock this morning. Phoenix police trying to stop a car tied to an ongoing investigation. There was a chase, and they deployed the device known as the grappler to stop that driver. The grappler literally grabs the wheels of the vehicle and disables it. The driver was arrested by officers. We still don't know what charges they may be facing. Police say this is an ongoing investigation. Arizona may soon be home to a brand new lake, and that body of water would pack a big punch when it comes to powering the valley. The lake will be built here in this deep canyon just near Roosevelt Lake, a little bit below it. Salt River Project just got the preliminary okay from the federal government to move forward, so we wanted to see this side of this future lake ourselves. All right, so this is the area we're talking about here.
Exactly, right.
You don't often hear about a plan to build an entirely new lake in Arizona. So this whole valley we're looking at right here will be underwater.
That's correct, yep.
Joseph Gardner shows us around what SRP hopes will be the site of a brand new lake on the Salt River. It's being built to help supply an increasingly power-hungry valley with electricity. It'd be wedged between 2 existing lakes.
To orient you a little bit, Roosevelt Lake is just up over here on the other side of this hill, and Apache Lake is immediately to our left over here.
So it would go Roosevelt, this new unnamed lake and then Apache down here, and the water
Right.
would flow right through.
Exactly.
The lake is designed to be a reliable source of clean power. This SRP animation shows how it would work. With a depth of some 300 feet, water would rush at high speed over electric turbines during the late afternoon and early evening. That's when power demand is at its highest. It would produce enough electricity to potentially power hundreds of thousands of homes. And then, during the early part of the next day, when power demand is low, cheap solar energy would be used to pump all that water right back into the lake, and the process would start all over again. So if everything goes smoothly and SRP gets its way, within a decade, where I'm standing will be some 300 feet underwater. This brand new lake all behind me here. But don't get out your fishing pole, your ski boat just yet.
Because the lake levels would fluctuate, hundreds of feet, it's an area that we wouldn't necessarily encourage recreation within, but folks would be welcome to recreate around the facilities.
So at any given time during the day, the surface of this lake could go up and down 100 feet?
Exactly.
That's a lot of water.
That's correct, yeah.
Think about that, and because it's so steep and so deep, the lake could provide 6 times as much power than is generated right now on the current other Salt River lakes, powering hundreds of thousands of homes. So if everything goes as planned, it could be finished in about 8 years. I have much more on this story, including the raw interview of our tour on 12 Plus. So go there and find the Troy Hayden Reports section to see more on that. Sonora Quest Labs is now offering a more convenient option for men who want to test their fertility. The Arizona-based lab just announced the launch of a new male fertility test. It's available without a doctor's order or health insurance. Sonora Quest claims the at-home test is able to analyze a man's sperm count in less than 30 minutes at 97% accuracy. All you need is a computer and a smartphone to conduct the test and view the results. Sonora Quest has not said when that test will become available. There's more information on this at 12news.com. The Department of Justice fired multiple immigration judges on Friday. The move comes after the immigration case backlog reached record levels during each of the last 3 years. A union representing immigration judges says 5 mid-level assistant chief immigration judges and 13 candidates to become new judges got those termination notices on Friday. They say that since the start of the Trump administration, more than 24 immigration judges, managers, and new hires have been fired. Arizona Senator Mark Kelly heard from local dairy producers this past week about how proposed tariffs could hurt their bottom lines. Listen.
And in about a month, the administration, the president, has said he's going to put a 25% tariff on steel, 10% on aluminum. That goes into effect on March 14th. When that was done in 2018 during the first Trump presidency, the retaliation from Mexico was a 25% tariff on dairy products.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what happens with prices when all these tariffs do go into effect. So Kelly met with both producers and truck drivers about the potential impact on tariffs to trade partners like Mexico and Canada. They say they could raise prices for Arizona families and limit export opportunities for local businesses. And during the visit, Kelly also discussed what cuts of the federal research funds could mean for Arizona institutions. So that's on the table.